Chosen one, listen carefully, this message you about to hear. The moment before the veil is lifted. You are not here by accident. You did not stumble onto this message randomly. Something ancient has been stirring inside you, and tonight it reaches the surface. God has allowed this moment because silence is no longer possible. There are truths that can only be revealed when the soul is ready. And if you are listening now, your soul already knows. This is the pause before revelation. This is where everything begins to make sense. Why you always felt different. From an early age, you sensed you did not belong. Not better than others, just separate. Your thoughts ran deeper. Your questions went further. While others followed noise, you followed meaning. While others slept, you felt awake. This difference was not a flaw. It was a mark. The call you couldn't escape. No matter how hard you tried to blend in, something pulled you back. A quiet pressure in your chest. A knowing without words. A restlessness comfort could not cure. God does not call loudly at first. He whispers. And only the chosen feel disturbed by whispers. Only the chosen lose sleep over purpose. When God decides enough is enough, there comes a moment when delay becomes disobedience, when hiding becomes heavier than fear. God sees how long you've waited. He sees how much you've endured. And now He can't hold this back anymore. The truth about your real purpose must surface. Because time is no longer on your side. And neither is comfort. The burden of being chosen. Being chosen was never about ease. It was about endurance. Pressure shaped you. Isolation refined you. You were broken not to destroy you, but to open you. Stripped of illusions. Detached from distractions. Prepared for clarity. Why the world tried to silence you. Society fears what it cannot control. And the awakened cannot be controlled. Your light threatened systems built on sleep. Your questions disrupted comfortable lies. So you were dismissed. Labeled. Misunderstood. Not because you were wrong, but because you were early. The signs you couldn't ignore. Synchronicities followed you. Numbers repeated. Dreams intensified. Truths revealed themselves without effort. Pain became a teacher. Loss became guidance. Silence became sacred. Nothing in your life was random. The awakening that shook you. One day something shifted. The old version of you could not return. You saw through illusions instantly. False connections fell apart. This awakening was not gentle. It was necessary. God does not wake His chosen softly. He shakes them awake. Why you had to lose everything first. You could not carry purpose while holding attachments. You could not rise while clinging to comfort. So things were removed. People faded. What felt like loss was alignment. What felt like punishment was preparation. God empties the vessel before filling it. Always. The truth about your real purpose. Your purpose was never small. It was never personal. You are here to remind others of truth. To awaken without forcing. Your presence alone shifts energy. Your words carry weight. Your silence teaches. You are a signal. Why fear has been testing you. Fear appears before elevation. Doubt visits before clarity. Resistance comes before expansion. This is not coincidence. Fear is the final gatekeeper. And you are standing at the gate now. What you choose next matters. More than you realize. The moment you stop running. Running kept you safe for a while. But safety is no longer the assignment. God is calling you forward. Fully. No more shrinking. No more delaying. No more pretending you don't feel it. You were never meant to hide. What happens when you say yes? The path will not be easy, but it will be clear. Support will appear at the right moment. Strength will meet obedience. When you align, resistance fades. When you trust, guidance multiplies. God moves when you move. Always. This is your confirmation. If this message stirred you, it was for you. If it unsettled you, it was necessary. If it awakened something, it was timed. You are not late. You are right on schedule. Chosen does not mean favored. It means responsible. And you are ready. Step into it now. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for validation. Your soul already agreed long ago. This is remembrance. If this message spoke to you, claim it. Like this video, so it reaches others who are awakening. Comment your confirmation below so your intention is spoken. Subscribe to Return to Awakening and walk this path with those who remember who they are. When purpose begins to pressure you. There is a weight you've been feeling lately. Not physical, spiritual. A pressure that refuses to fade. This pressure is not anxiety. It is alignment pushing against delay. Purpose does not whisper forever. Eventually, it demands movement. Why comfort started to feel empty. Things that once excited you no longer satisfy. Conversations feel shallow. Distractions feel loud. You crave depth without knowing why. This is not boredom. It is elevation. Your soul outgrew the room it was placed in. And God is urging expansion. The separation you did not ask for. People drifted without explanation. Connections dissolved overnight. You questioned yourself. You wondered what you did wrong. But separation is sacred. Chosen ones are isolated before they are activated. Not everyone is meant to walk with you. Some were only meant to walk you out. The silent training you, ENDORD. No applause followed your struggles. No one saw your internal battles. You learned strength in silence. Faith without witnesses. This was training. Endurance was being installed. Discernment was being sharpened. You were being prepared for visibility. Why you couldn't explain your pain. Words failed you. Others couldn't relate. So you stopped trying to explain. You carried it alone. Some lessons cannot be shared mid-process. Some pain only makes sense in hindsight. God hides his chosen while shaping them. Protection looks like loneliness sometimes. The moment truth started following you. Truth found you everywhere. In random conversations. In unexpected signs. In moments of stillness. You weren't searching anymore. Truth was searching for you. Because once you awaken, you attract clarity. And clarity changes everything. Why the old you had to die. The old identity could not survive where you're going. Old habits resisted. Old beliefs collapsed. Old versions faded. Death always precedes resurrection. Spiritually and emotionally. God does not upgrade what he intends to replace. He renews completely. The fear that tried to disguise itself. Fear showed up as logic. As responsibility. As timing. As doubt. But fear always pretends to be reasonable. It tells you to wait. To stay quiet. To stay small. What your soul has been screaming. Deep down you know. You feel it when you're alone. There is more required of you. More expression. Your soul is tired of suppression. Tired of compromise. Tired of waiting. Awakening does not reverse. Why God trusted you with this path. Not everyone could handle this calling. Not everyone would stay faithful through confusion. Not everyone would endure isolation without bitterness. You did. God entrusts heavy assignments to resilient souls, those refined by pressure, those humbled by struggle, those purified by patience. The shift you can no longer deny. Your intuition is louder now, discernment sharper, tolerance for falsehood gone, boundaries firmer. You are no longer becoming. You are arriving. And arrival brings responsibility, as well as power. What happens when purpose activs? Resistance increases. Distractions intensify. Old fears resurface. This is expected. Purpose shakes dormant forces. Light disrupts darkness. Movement attracts opposition, but also divine reinforcement. The strength you didn't know you had. You survived things that should have broken you. You adapted when there was no guidance. You stood when others folded. You remained faithful when clarity was absent. This strength was revealed, not created. It was always inside you. Awakening uncovers what was hidden, not what was missing. Why this message is still playing. You could have clicked away, but you didn't. Something held you here. Something familiar. This is resonance. Truth recognizes its own. And your spirit knows this moment matters. Stay present, the responsibility that comes with knowing. Once you see, you cannot unsee. Once you know, you cannot return to ignorance. Awakening is irreversible. And responsibility follows revelation. You are accountable to what has been shown to you. Not to impress others. Not to convince the world. But to live in alignment with truth. Why silence started to feel wrong. There was a time when staying quiet felt safe. Now it feels heavy. Unnatural. Like holding your breath. This is because your voice carries purpose. And suppression creates spiritual tension. What God placed inside you was meant to move. Not to be buried. The internal war you couldn't explain. Part of you wanted to rise. Part of you wanted to hide. One pulled forward. The other clung to comfort. This war is common among the chosen. Calling versus conditioning. Destiny versus familiarity. Only one can win. Why you were drawn to solitude. Crowds drained you. Noise exhausted you. Stillness healed you. Silence taught you. Solitude was not avoidance. It was communion. God speaks clearest where distractions cannot follow. And you learned to listen. The moment discernment awakened, you began to feel energy before words. Intent before action. Truth before explanation. Your spirit recognized deception instantly. This gift is protection, not judgment. Chosen ones see clearly so they can navigate wisely, not so they can condemn. Why old doors closed without warning? Opportunities disappeared. Paths collapsed. Plans dissolved suddenly. You felt confused. But closed doors redirect the chosen. God blocks what would delay destiny. Even when it looks like loss. Even when it hurts. The test of obedience without clarity. You were asked to trust without details. To move without guarantees. To let go without replacement. This stretched you. Faith is not built in comfort. It is built in uncertainty. Obedience before understanding is rare. That is why you were chosen. Why you felt out of place everywhere. No environment fully fit you. No label explained you. No group claimed you. You floated between worlds. This is because you are transitional. A bridge. A reminder. Not meant to settle, but to awaken. The hidden preparation for visibility. You wondered why recognition was delayed, why your efforts went unseen, why progress felt slow. This was intentional. Visibility without preparation destroys. God prepares privately what he reveals publicly. Depth before exposure. Always. What happens when you stop doubting yourself? Clarity replaces confusion. Peace replaces anxiety. Direction replaces hesitation. Alignment replaces resistance. Doubt was never humility. It was conditioning. And you are unlearning it now. Step by step. The power of consent. Heaven waits for agreement. Not perfection. Not fearlessness. Consent. When you say yes internally, doors shift externally. When alignment happens within, reality responds. This is spiritual law. And it is active now. Why this phase feels intense. Acceleration is uncomfortable. Growth compresses time. Lessons arrive faster. Emotions surface deeper. Intensity signals transition. You are crossing thresholds. And thresholds are never quiet. They demand attention. The part of you that refuses to sleep again. Once awakened, your spirit stays alert. You question more. Feel deeper. See clearer. There is no going back. Only forward with awareness. And awareness is power. Even when it feels heavy. Stay present. Do not rush past this moment. Do not minimize what you feel. Something is aligning right now. And you are in it, the inner shift others can feel. Even when you say nothing, people sense it. Your presence feels different now. Calmer. Heavier with meaning. Some are drawn to you without understanding why. Others feel uncomfortable around you. This is natural. Light exposes what is hidden. Why you no longer resonate with drama. Conflict that once pulled you and now repels you. Arguments feel pointless. Negativity feels loud. Your spirit seeks peace. This is maturity of the soul. Not weakness. Chosen ones conserve energy for purpose. Not distractions. The moment you realized you were being led. Certain decisions no longer felt random. You felt guided. Stopped from going one way. Pulled toward another. This is divine navigation. God leads internally before he moves externally. And you learn to trust the nudge. Even without proof. Why your emotions intensified. You feel more now. Joy deeper. Sadness sharper. Compassion wider. Awakening removes numbness. Sensitivity is not fragility. It is awareness. And awareness is a gift. The difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness drains you. Solitude restores you. You learn the difference the hard way. Through silence. God uses solitude to realign hearts. To strip false identities. To remind you who you are without noise. And you listened. Why you were protected from certain paths. Some doors never opened. Some desires never manifested. At the time it felt unfair. Limiting. Now you see it clearly. Those paths would have delayed you. Or diluted you. Protection often feels like restriction. The call to step forward quietly. This is not about forcing your voice. Or proving anything. It is about embodiment. Living truth consistently. Chosen ones lead by presence first. Words follow alignment. And influence follows integrity. This is your season of grounding. Why old fears are resurfacing. Fear returns before release. It wants one last vote. One last delay. One last negotiation. Do not negotiate. Observe it, thank it, and move anyway. The role you play without realizing it. You shift rooms by entering them. You soften hearts without trying. You plant questions in silence. You awaken through example. This is impact without effort, influence without manipulation, leadership without ego. And it is rare. Why you were born in this time. Your timing is intentional. Your era requires discernment. Confusion is widespread. Truth is diluted. You are here to remind, not to argue, to embody clarity, not to chase approval. The moment resistance turns into alignment. When you stop fighting who you are, peace enters. Not because the path is easy, but because it is true. And truth carries stability. Alignment does not remove challenges. It removes inner conflict. And that changes everything. Why your journey was never meant to be explained. Not everyone needs to understand you. Some will never relate. Some will misinterpret. That is okay. Your assignment was alignment, not validation. And you are learning to stand without applause. Hold this moment. Let it settle. Let it breathe. Something is still unfolding. And you are exactly where you need to be, the quiet confidence forming inside you. You no longer feel the need to announce yourself, or explain your growth, or defend your changes. You simply are. This confidence is not loud. It is grounded, rooted, unshakable. Why urgency has entered your spirit. Time feels different now. Moments feel heavier. Delays feel costly. You sense a window opening. This urgency is not panic. It is awareness. A reminder that alignment cannot wait forever. And you feel that truth deeply. The detachment that scared you at first. You began releasing outcomes. Expectations softened. Control loosened. And that frightened you. But detachment is freedom, not apathy. Chosen ones act fully, then release fully. Trust completes the cycle. Why you stopped seeking permission. Approval lost its power over you. Validation no longer fuels you. You stopped asking for confirmation. You started listening inward. This is authority awakening. Inner alignment replacing external approval. God's voice becoming louder than opinions. And it feels unfamiliar, yet right. The moment you realized you were never broken. All those years, you thought something was wrong with you. Too sensitive. Too deep. Too intense. Now you see the truth. Nothing was broken. You were tuned differently. Designed for depth. Why your path never looked normal. Your timeline confused others. Your pauses made no sense. Your leaps looked reckless. Your restraint looked like failure. But your path was custom. Tailored. Intentional. Because mass paths cannot carry rare callings. The shift from seeking answers to trusting guidance. You asked fewer questions and received more clarity. Stillness replaced overthinking. Presence replaced anxiety. Guidance flows when resistance ends. And you have learned to surrender without collapsing. To trust without disappearing. That is mastery. Why peace became your measure. Success stopped being about recognition, or speed, or applause. Peace became the indicator. If it costs peace, you walk away. If it drains alignment, you decline. This discernment protects your calling. And you honor it now. The strength in moving without applause. No one claps for inner obedience. No one sees private courage. No one witnesses silent discipline, but God does. And that is enough, because purpose responds to faithfulness, not visibility, not noise. Why you no longer fear being misunderstood. Misunderstanding used to hurt deeply. Now it barely touches you. You release the need to be seen accurately by everyone. Only by truth. Those meant to recognize you will. Those who don't were never assigned to. This realization freed you. Completely. The moment stillness became power. You stopped reacting instantly. You paused, observed, listened. Stillness sharpened discernment. Silence clarified direction. Restraint increased authority. You grew powerful without trying. Stay here a little longer. Do not rush past this awareness. Do not distract yourself yet. Something is still anchoring inside you. Let it settle, the inner realignment no one saw. While the world kept moving, you were being rearranged. Beliefs shifted quietly. Values recalibrated. Priorities reordered. This was not regression. It was correction. God aligning you internally before positioning you externally. And the work was precise. Why you began questioning everything. Old teachings no longer satisfied. Surface answers felt empty. You needed truth, not tradition. Depth, not repetition. Questioning was not rebellion. It was discernment activating. Chosen ones must know truth for themselves, not borrow it from others. The weight of carrying, a message. You feel something inside you waiting to be released. Not yet fully formed, but alive, persistent. This weight is purpose gestating. It grows heavier when ignored, lighter when acknowledged, and it is asking for expression. Why you were pulled away from noise. Social spaces drained you. Endless opinions overwhelmed you. You needed silence to hear clearly, distance to see truth. God removes distractions to sharpen focus. Noise blurs calling. Silence refines it. And you accepted the withdrawal. The moment you stopped forcing outcomes. You released timelines. Stopped chasing signs. Stopped demanding certainty. And peace followed. Forcing blocks flow. Surrender invites guidance. You learned to move with faith, not pressure. And alignment increased. Why your discernment makes others uncomfortable. You see through masks easily. You feel intention behind words. You notice inconsistencies. And you don't play along. This unsettles those living in performance. Truth destabilizes illusion. And your presence is truth heavy. Whether you speak or not. The inner authority taking root. You trust yourself now. Not ego. Not impulse. But alignment. This trust came from surviving confusion. From choosing integrity when no one was watching. From listening inward repeatedly. And seeing guidance prove itself. Why your journey required delay. If you had arrived earlier, it would have crushed you. If doors opened sooner, you would have been unprepared. Delay protected your spirit and preserved your humility. God times revelation carefully. Purpose revealed too early becomes a burden. Now you can carry it. And that matters. The feeling that something big is near. You sense it. Not excitement. Not fear. Expectation. A calm knowing that change is close. Not forced. Not chaotic. But significant. And you are ready for it. Why this awakening feels different. This time you are not confused. Not desperate. Not searching. You are steady. Awakening matured into embodiment. understanding settled into wisdom, and urgency balanced with patience. This is integration. Hold your ground. Do not second-guess this clarity. Do not minimize your growth. What is forming now is stable, and it will carry you forward, the inner stillness that surprised you. You expected chaos during change. Instead, calm arrived. A deep, steady quiet, unmoved by circumstances. This stillness is not absence. It is presence anchored, the kind that comes when resistance ends and truth settles in. Why you no longer chase signs. You used to look outward for confirmation. Numbers, moments, reassurance. Now knowing rises internally. Clear, direct, unshaken. Signs follow alignment. They no longer lead it. And this shift marks maturity, spiritual adulthood, the difference between faith and hope. Hope waits. Faith moves. You lived in hope for years. Now you live in faith. Faith is calm action. Hope is expectation. Both have their place. But faith builds reality. Why your energy feels protected. You guard access carefully now. Not from fear. From wisdom. From experience. Not everyone deserves proximity. Not everyone can handle depth. Protection preserves purpose. And you honor that boundary. The release of old identities. You stopped introducing yourself by pain, or survival, or past versions. You let them go. Identity rooted in struggle limits growth. Identity rooted in truth expands it. You chose expansion, and freedom followed. Why simplicity feels sacred now. You crave less, but deeper. Fewer words, more meaning. Simplicity is clarity refined. Not lack, not retreat, but precision of living. The shift from proving to being. You no longer need to demonstrate worth, or justify your path, or explain your timing. You exist fully. Being is powerful. It does not seek permission. It does not rush. It holds its ground. Why your intuition is sharper than ever. Distractions fell away. Noise reduced. Alignment increased. And intuition sharpened. Intuition thrives in clarity, not chaos. And you created the conditions for it. Consciously or not. The moment you trust God deeply. Not because everything worked out, but because you survived when it didn't. Trust grew in the dark, not the light. Now surrender feels safe, not scary, because you know who is guiding you. And why? Stay grounded here. Do not rush ahead mentally. Do not replay the past. This moment is balanced, and balance is strength. The moment decision replaces delay. There comes a point where waiting becomes resistance. You have crossed that point. You feel it in your chest. A quiet insistence to move. This is not pressure from the world. This is alignment demanding action. God does not reveal truth to be admired. He reveals it to be lived. Why your next step matters more than the last. Everything you survived prepared you for now. Every delay sharpened discernment. Every loss refined intention. This moment carries momentum. What you choose next sets direction. Not perfection. Direction. And direction determines destiny. The power of OWNING, your calling. When you stop denying who you are, strength multiplies. Clarity deepens. Fear loses authority. Confidence stabilizes. Owning your calling does not mean knowing everything. It means trusting what you already know. and honoring the truth placed within you. Without apology, why you were led to this channel. This was not entertainment. This was alignment. A reminder. A confirmation. You are not alone in this awakening. Others are remembering too. And return to awakening exists for those who refuse to sleep again. This is your moment to respond. If this message resonated, do not ignore it. Engagement is intention expressed. Action anchors awareness. Movement activates alignment. Like this video to affirm your awakening. Comment below with your confirmation, so your voice aligns with your truth. Subscribe to return to awakening and walk this path with others who are chosen, aware, and ready to live their real purpose.